Hi, I'm Mark Tunley, professional custom rod maker and Wolf International's rod guy, and I'm here today to look in more detail at the X series carp rods. Right, we're going to start off and have a look at the X. Now there's 3 10-footers, 6 12-footers and 3 13-footers in the X rod. And why we called the rod the actual X was because of the cross-weave banding in carbon that we have on the blank, and it just looks like an X, so we called it the X. Now they have a full Japanese shrink tube handle with a logo end cap at the end, and we use the Alps Centralock window reel seat in matte black with the Wolf logo on top. We put the rod details on the underside out of the way. We don't really need to see them when we're fishing. It's just like that. Nice little line clip, use them or not, but we put it on there. Going up the rod, we have black lightweight SIC rings to complement the reel seat, and it's in the 40mm advanced pattern on the lower test curve rods. All the 10-footers have this 40mm pattern, and once you get 12-foot 3-pound test curve and above, they go to a 50mm pattern. Now the advanced means that it's a hybrid of double legs and single legs, and you can see the first 2 rings are double and the remaining 3 are single legs, and it goes into a 16 tip in a cradle fashion, which is anti-wraparound, so if the line tangles round it comes off a lot easier. It's just a nice little detail to make the rod more functional. That in essence is the details and the fittings of the X rod. And the range in the 10-footer test curve wise is 2 3/4, 3 pound and 3 1/4. In the 12-footers it's 2 3/4, 3, 3 1/4, 3 1/2, a distance extreme and a spot marker. And in the 13s, which are usually used for more distance work in any case, it's a 13 3 1/2, an extreme distance version and a matching spot marker. So basically from 10 foot right the way up to 13 in all test curves, everything's covered. So let's have a look in more detail now at the 3K. This is the Wolf International X Series X3K. Now this is a step up from the X in the modulus of carbon, slightly crisper and slightly lighter per rated test curve, and there's a cosmetic difference as well. Same full Japanese shrink tube handle, lovely logo end cap. Same lovely matte black Alps Centralock windowed reel seat. But we go away from the X banding to having a 3K checkerboard weave, hence the name X3K. This is a slightly higher modulus carbon again, as I said, and this one is the 3 1/4, which we think will be a very, very popular power all-rounder rod. Great for margin right the way up to like 130 yards easy. So it's going to be a good jack of all trades, this rod. And once you get over 3-pound test curve, or 3 pound and above, you go on to the 50mm advanced pattern. Advanced again being double legs, 2 and 3 singles. And the pattern on this is 50, 40, 30, 25, 20 and a 16 cradle tip again, anti-wraparound. She's got a 3K checkerboard weave, high modulus carbon on the butt section. Into the beginnings of the tip section we have the 3K, then she blends into the very expensive high-end 1K blank. So this is quite a technical rod. And that's the fundamental differences there. Range, again, 10-footers, 2 3/4, 3, 3 1/4, 6 12-footers, 2 3/4, 3, 3 1/4, 3 1/2, an extreme distance 3 1/2, and a spot marker, and 3 13s, a 13 1/2, a distance extreme and a spot marker. We kept the aesthetics across the entire range quite custom, quite minimal, bit of matte black, simple whippings, little line clip. We didn't want too much in the way of cosmetic bling on them, and again rod details on the underside. That's the X3K. Now let's have a look at the X1K, top of the range. Right, we're now going to have a look at the X1K rods. There is another step up in modulus of carbon, an aesthetic difference as well. Range of test curves, again, I've spoken about this earlier on, 10 footers, 12 footers, 13 footers, full range. Full Japanese shrink tube handle again, little logo end cap. There's a slight detail change on the Alps central lock window reel seat we used here. Still a matte black, but we put a little detail on just to say higher end rod, slightly extra detail, a little bit of extra bling on that one. Again, a little carbon line clip, details on the underside, out of the way, so all you can see is really the rod. And this one's a big 13 footer distance extreme. These have been test cast to some extreme distances, and again 50mm ring pattern, advanced double singles down to the 16 tip. The carbon, as I said, is a step up again in the high modulus. It's getting quite high now. They're getting quite crisp and quite light for the same test curves, and we have a lovely 1K checkerboard weave finished throughout all the way up to the tip. Again, test curve ranges, as I said, 12 footers, 10 footers, 13 footers, and that's the X1K. Now, how I would use the various test curves, we have the 10 footers, 2 3/4, 3 and 3 1/4. 2 3/4 is a nice light players type rod, small waters, ponds, that kind of stuff. And as we've got a 3-pounder and a 3 1/4, they're more hit and hold rods. A lot of 10 footers will be used as single rods or on sort of cute little estate lakes by lily pads, that kind of stuff. And it gives you the confidence to be able to fish there and deal with those fish and control them from snags. In the 12 footers, the 2 3/4, we've naturally made a little bit softer in its action. And the reason why we did that is most 2 3/4 would be used for sort of lighter fishing, more playing, people who actually want a rod that bends in a more classic way. But when we get into the 3-pound test curve and above, we crispen up the action slightly, more orientated towards casting heavier payloads, bigger fish, bigger distances, etc. As I said earlier on, I think the 3 1/4 test curve will be a fantastic compromise between close range and distance. Very capable rod, always has been for years, the 3 1/4. Not too heavy, not too light. So if you only want to get one set of rods, get a 3 1/4, whether it be in the X, the X3K or the X1K, doesn't matter, your choice. They will perform beautifully all round. When you get into the 13s, the distance extreme is a sort of out and out casting rod, hence the term distance extreme. We've designed it really for the guys that need to cast 180, 190, 200 yards, whatever, and not be lacking. And we have spods and markers to complement them as well. The 12 footer is rated at about 4-pound test curve, and the 13 is at 4.5. And it's designed to be able to spod and marker at the same ranges that you would fish your lead. So full range, that's how I'd use them. It's quite obvious really. The big ones are used for big distances, the small ones are used for close range. And there's an aesthetic difference, as we said, so you get a visual look about the rods that you may prefer. And that's it. That's the X series from Wolf International.